Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. And today I'm doing a video that I think you're really going to enjoy. And it's what I'm calling the ultimate guide to the National Chicago 2021. And in years past, I've done videos giving tips and tricks about the National, and a lot of guys do it, and they're all great. And I don't think any, completely exhaustive list of things. But what I want to do is give beyond more than just tips and tricks. Certainly going to do that a little bit. But, it's just a few weeks until the National is going to be coming up. And it's kind of getting down to crunch time in terms of making plans if you're going to attend. And the first thing I'll say is if you're on the fence at all, whether or not you want to go, let me tell you that there is no other hobby experience that you can have like going to the National. I mean, it's simply put, it's the Super Bowl of the hobby is what we call it. And it's so true. And if you're planning to go, then you need to really just kind of plan things out. Even if you've been to many Nationals before, or if you're a rookie and this is your first time, hopefully this video will just give you lots of things to think about, tips, tricks, advice, all so that you can have just an amazing time in Chicago at the National. And if you're a veteran and you've been before, maybe this is just a reinforcement or refresher of a lot of things that you were planning on doing. Maybe it'll trigger, oh yeah, I need to make sure I do that and whatnot. So again, I want to cover as many bases as I can. It won't be everything, but I will have links down below to all the websites I'm going to reference and everything that you need to kind of go plan your experience that you want to have at the National. So there's a whole lot of things, and I kind of broke them all down into categories. These are the things I'm going to go through in greater detail. I'm going to go through kind of the different admission types that there are, kind of just the general dealers that you're going to have to deal with, wax dealers, the autograph pavilion, card manufacturer booths, card grading companies, auction house exhibits, extra events, and then just some general tips. So I have a nice long list of things to cover. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first thing is you got to get in the show, right? And so I really want to give a couple of things as resources for you to look at. The first one I want to show is right here. And that's the website for the National itself. It's nsccshow.com. In here, you're going to have all kinds of information about, everything about the show, whether it's autograph information and links to TriStar's website, hotels, tickets, you name it. And what I want to do is go through some ticket stuff. So the basic first thing to think about is, getting in. And you've got 3 different ways to get in. You can do a general admission, which again, there's 2 different ways to do each of these admission packages. If you buy online, it's a certain price. And if you buy at the show, it's a different price. For example, per day, general admission is $19. If you buy it online now or beforehand, if you buy your ticket at the show, it's $22. So automatically you can save a little bit of money by being preemptively, thinking ahead and getting ahead of that and buying the tickets that you want for the different days that you want. Then you have a VIP package, super VIP. And there's a lot of questions on forums and stuff. A lot of this is period of what I'm going to be going over is from looking at different forums, seeing all the questions people are asking, and want to kind of put it all in one video. And a lot of people are asking about VIP. Is it worth it or not? And the answer is simple, is maybe. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. So let's go through what a VIP gets you. And if we go down to, there's a place on here about VIP information, and you can purchase those packages. Let's click on the details. Excuse me. So VIP, here's the 2 different ones. Again, all this is on the NSCC website. You've got a VIP package and what it includes, super VIP, what it includes. The VIP this is a pretty key thing, I think, and that is early entrance to all 5 days of the show. First of all, it's your admission to the show, and you get in a half hour early, which may not sound like a lot of time, but believe me, to beat the general public by 30 minutes, given how crazy busy we think that this show is going to be, that's probably pretty valuable. There's a separate VIP entrance. That's probably not that important. You get exclusive VIP reception and refreshments. The receptions, if you've never gone, it's not a bad thing to go to. And then you get free autographs. This is on Wednesday of the show, and it's Football Hall of Famer Jan Stenerud, Cecil Fielder, and Wally Joyner, which is neat. Now, those will also be available to anybody in the general public that's there on Wednesday. They go to this VIP reception for an hour, hour and a half, whatever it is, and then they go out to the show floor and set up and sign autographs out there as well. And that's free to the general public as well. But the VIP people get kind of first access to that, to be able to do that. Now, you get access to the VIP lounge all week long. I've been to what they've used as the VIP lounge in Chicago before. It's just a room that you can go sit in. And if you want to open boxes or whatever, it's a place to go rest. But there's nothing in it. It's empty other than a bunch of tables. It's not like they have water and soda and all that good stuff for you. It's just kind of there. Then we've got, you got free autographs here from 12 select VIP guests. So you get these 12 different people that you can read here and go read yourself. And no huge names on that list, obviously, but hey, free autographs are free autographs. And if that's your thing, that's awesome. You can also, a lot of people sell these to other people, either on forums, beforehand, Facebook, whatever. If you want to get some of your money back for your VIP and you're not interested in the autographs, selling these is not a bad way to go. Prices vary, obviously, and see whatever you can get. That would be a good thing if you're not interested in that. You also get, with the VIP package, a bunch of promo cards from the different card manufacturers. They're usually NSCC, national exclusive kind of cards. None of them particularly been terribly valuable over time, but they're, it's cool. Never wrong, never bad to get free cards. And it helps kind of commemorate the moment, commemorate the time at the National. That's pretty cool. So that's kind of the VIP. Now, when you go super VIP, what are you paying that extra money for between $139 and $199? Well, for $60 extra, what do you get? Well, you get all 18 VIP autograph guests instead of just 12 of them. So that's 6 more autographs. You get double the gift packages, the promo cards and all that kind of stuff that you get. And a big thing for a lot of people is the ability to get free parking. So if you're driving to the show and you're going to have a vehicle, then being able to park all week at the Rosemont Center is super convenient, super handy, and probably cheaper that way than, just buying the parking outright. Not for the whole VIP package, but that difference between VIP and super VIP, if you're having a car, that's a pretty nice little benefit to be able to park for free. So that's definitely something to consider depending on how you're going to be traveling to the show. So that's just, getting in, right? And that's the first thing I wanted to cover there. Then you go to things like you get to the show. And let me tell you, be prepared to be overwhelmed. So when you walk in, and I'm going to talk about general dealers now, just when you're walking around tables and looking at cards and stuff, there's just so much there. It's impossible to describe. You'll just have to see it. And every time you go, no matter how many times you've been, it's still very overwhelming, no matter what. It just takes some time to acclimate to the environment that you're in. And it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of cards here. And so what I suggest to people is walking the floor. I try to walk the whole floor as much of it as I can before I start buying things, because I'm telling you, the minute you buy something, you're going to walk an aisle or two over and find the same card cheaper, and you're going to be kicking yourself for buying it and not being patient. So I try to tell people, look, just walk around, get a feel for where things are. kind of get the lay of the land of where all the different areas of the show are, because there's so much to take in. Be patient, you know, and I'm going to give some more tips on this later. But one of the things, like, there are certain dealers that kind of have things going on, and all of them will have specials and different stuff that you might see certain days, certain times. One of the dealers I tell everybody to go to and check out is Baseball Card Exchange at the National. In years past, and again, this is a different year, so none of us really know what this year is going to bring that's different from previous years. In previous years, I can just kind of go from experience and tell you what I've seen. The Bench Clear, that's us, Bench Clear. The Baseball Card Exchange booth has a thing called Deal of the Day, and they'll announce that usually the night before on their Facebook page or their website, and you can kind of see what's going to be given away as deals of the day. Those are usually done in time brackets, time frames. So at 10 o'clock, they might have, here's the deals of the day at 10, and these start at 12, and these start at 2, or whatever. Some of them will be all day or until they run out. And they're usually really super good deals. It's certainly worth looking at and seeing what they are offering as the deals of the day. Then you get to wax dealers, just in general. Again, in years past, the wax world was so different 2 years ago at the National than it is today. It's hard to say what that's going to look like in Chicago. But in the past, all the big wax dealers were there. You know, Steel City Sports Cards and Atlanta Sports Cards and Blowout and all of them. All Dave and Adams, you know, you name it, they're there at the National selling as much wax as you want to buy. The question is, are they going to be at prices that you want to pay? Or how much inventory will they really have? Well, I mean, nobody really knows this yet. We're going to certainly find out as we get to the show. But the wax dealers are usually, again, they're trying to move product. So there's plenty, there should be plenty of it there, but we will see. But all the big guys will be there. And usually on their website, they'll announce kind of if they're having any specials or kind of what they're going to be doing. So be checking out your favorite wax dealer's website if you're going to be at the show, if that's your thing. All right, next up, the Autograph Pavilion. This is a huge part of the National and a big driving force for a lot of people that want to get autographs. And not everybody does, but it's still something really cool. And I think this year it's changed for me personally that I'm actually looking to get some autographs at the National, whereas before I've never bought one at the National. I've always thought the prices were too high and, you know, you can buy it cheaper just buying the card. But now I'm doing some specific projects where I need certain autographs that I'm not finding online. And so what I'm sharing with you right now is the TriStar website. So to find out who's all signing at the National, when they're going to be signing, how much the cost is, all of that is this website here on tristarproductions.com. I will put a link to this down below. This is just one quick play. You can get there from their regular website. It's not hard, but it gives you a list of what days and times each person's going to be signing. And so let's say I wanted to get a Lawrence Taylor autograph. Well, Lawrence Taylor's on July 29th at 11:30 a.m. And you simply click on the Get Tickets little icon over here, and it'll pull up and tell you kind of all the particulars about each of those players. You can do mail-in orders to the National to get signatures. You know, I don't particularly do that, but you can just know that you could if you wanted to, if you're not going to be able to attend the show or a player is signing before and or after you're going to be at the show. Doesn't mean you still can't get it. But you can see like Lawrence Taylor for a regular item is $100, $99.99. That may be cheap to you. That may be expensive to you. Up to each person to decide. But for every player, you can go back to this list and simply find the person you're looking for. The way they're on this list, by the way, is once it refreshes here at some point, there it goes, is on the time and day that they're signing. It's not alphabetical. So again, lots of great baseball Hall of Famers, football guys, basketball guys, very few hockey guys, but they're still adding more and more people. In fact, just yesterday they added quite a few, not quite a few, 6 players or so to the list of signers. So this will be updated, I would think, over the next few weeks, more and more and more, as they add signers to the list of people. So again, here's where you go to get all the information on, players, their prices, when they're going to be there, etc. All right, let me stop that, come back to me. So the next thing I want to talk about is card manufacturers booths. So you've got Upper Deck, Topps, Panini, Leaf. Who else am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing someone. Anyway, they're all there too, with a giant corporate presence, and they take up lots of space on the show floor with their exhibit booths. Those are the places where you go to get all your kind of special packs. You may have heard of, Panini gives away these silver packs, and Topps has special packs, and there's all kinds of promos going on. You really need to keep on that, just hearing about it, and kind of ask them what their promos are and whatnot. Because if you're a wax person and you like buying boxes and you're going to rip stuff anyway, you might as well benefit from any types of promotions that the manufacturers are giving away at the National. There are silver packs for Panini, or typically you buy certain products that Panini will put out a list as the National gets closer. Check their website for details. You can find out what those are and go buy them from an authorized dealer for Panini. And when you buy those boxes and go, they'll usually give you some type of voucher to take to the Panini booth. And sometimes they make you open the boxes right there. Sometimes you don't have to, but that will get you X number of silver packs, X number of gold, whatever they are. And those are all usually National exclusive type cards. There's autographs and patch cards and base cards, you name it, all kinds of things that you can get in those, silver packs at the National. You can even find silver packs, by the way, as dealers get them, they will be selling those at their respective booths. So don't be afraid to, if someone has them, that's because they got them from Panini by opening wax or doing whatever they did to get those packs. So all of that's going on with each of the card manufacturers. Will have all of their own stuff. So if that's something you're super into, make sure you're paying attention to that, because some of it can be really nice and really cool. What else what do I want to talk about next? Sports card, or the grading companies, card grading companies. So there's really 5 that I'm going to talk about: PSA, SGC, BGS, HGA, and CSG. And obviously everybody wants to talk about PSA. It's huge news that they are going to be, doing on-site grading at the National. I will share my screen and show you what information they have on their website. And it's going to be, hey, there's Norman. It's going to be pretty boring because there's not a lot there. All they say is, here's the National Sports Card Convention, July 29th to August 2nd. Yep, we'll be there doing on-site grading. Yes, we're going to be doing on-site autograph authentication. They will not be accepting submissions to take back to PSA in California and grade those cards. So it's pretty much you're going to pay to get it done there, and that's it. The sad thing is they have not yet come out with pricing. I have heard $300 a card. That seems a little bit outrageous to me. I still, it says right now, details on services offered coming soon, which basically says whoever heard that, I haven't seen that anywhere in print from them. I've heard that from some other guys. I guess wait and see is the rule of the day on some of this stuff. We'll kind of see what they come out with in terms of on-site grading, but that's what PSA is doing. They will definitely be there, definitely be grading cards. SGC, I sent them an email. They responded back to me and said that they are still working on the logistical details to potentially attend the National. So now I should take that back. They're going to be at the National. It's will they be doing on-site grading? And as of right now, that's still to be determined. They have not figured that out yet. Again, they're working on the logistics of that, but they will definitely be at the show for sure. You know, either taking submissions potentially, but I didn't get a whole lot of information from the person that I emailed, but they did say that as of right now, they are not taking on site, but they are working on making that happen. BGS will also be there, of course. Beckett Grading Services, they usually for sure will do probably raw card review, which is what they've done in the past. They have done on site before. I have not seen anywhere on their website. I went and looked as to whether or not they're going to be taking on site submissions at the National or taking orders to take back. Right now, they're shut down too, just like PSA, which is why PSA is not accepting orders to take back with them. So that jury is still out as well. I looked for stuff on HGA's website and could find nothing. Hybrid grading approach. Haven't seen anything from them about the National. I did get confirmation from CSG that they will not be at the National at all. So their basic answer is we're just trying to catch up on all the cards we've already gotten, which makes a lot of sense. And that's probably true. So that's kind of what's going on with on-site grading. Again, PSA will be there doing it. BGS will be there doing it. So those are kind of two options to you if you really want to get cards graded at the National while you're there. Take them home with you when you go back to wherever you live. Next topic, kind of general category that I want to talk about is auction house exhibits. And when I say that exhibits, I genuinely mean it, because what you'll see with all the big auction houses, whether it's Heritage, Robert Edward Auctions, Golden, Memory Lane, you name it, there's dozens of them. Most of them will have a exhibit, a corporate presence at the National. They're all over the place, kind of scattered all around. At least they have been in years past. And what's great about that is even if you're not into auctions or whatever, you're going to get to see cards that they're exhibiting and showing off that are in upcoming auctions, whether it's the fall auction or late summer auction or whatever they're going to be doing whenever their next auction is. They will have those cards to kind of show off to the public and let you see them and hold them and whatever. It's just really cool to get to see some cards that you might not see anywhere else. Some very unique items, game use type stuff, uniforms and bats and all kinds of neat stuff that they will have on display just to show off what their auctions bring to the table. And you can also talk to them about consigning if that's something you're thinking about, selling some stuff. They're happy to talk to you about how they do it and why they're good and why they're the best and whatnot. They'll have definitely a huge presence at the show. And so just different ways to enjoy that part of it. Just seeing cool stuff and getting information if you need it. All right, now I want to talk about some extra events. And what I mean by there's a few kind of subcategories within that. But extra events are just stuff beyond what's going on at the show. In years past, PSA has done a luncheon on one of the days. Usually if you're a PSA set registry member or something, you get an invite to go to this luncheon. And it's kind of the first few hundred people. All these are limited, the things I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. The PSA luncheon was limited because the place can only hold so many people. And if you would go to that, you'd get, swag and a lunch and hear different things about what PSA is doing, etc. That's not happening this year. My buddy Eric, those back pages, reached out to PSA, someone he knows kind of deep inside the bowels of PSA, and he got confirmation that PSA luncheon is not happening. And that makes sense because I haven't seen, I've gotten invites every year before. I haven't gotten anything this year, and I usually have by this point. So that makes a lot of sense what Eric has told me, that PSA luncheon is not happening, which is a shame because that's a lot of fun. The other thing is the Topps Q&A, which is usually done usually the Thursday evening, like around right after the show ends, like 6. But again, that's been done before, and we just don't know yet if that's going to happen. I actually have an interview scheduled during Hobbypalooza, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, to talk to Topps and ask them their plans for the National. So hopefully we can get some definitive answers by then, if not before. But as of right now, the Topps Q&A is just one of those great events where, again, it's only a few hundred people that get to go to that. And it's something you have to sign up for at the Topps booth. Again, this is what we've done before, not knowing what it's going to be like now. But it's certainly worth going to. It's really fun. You get to ask Topps all kinds of questions. I actually recorded it last year, and I can put a link to what that was like last year down below. You can go check that video out if you want, or if you never saw it, what the Q&A was like. You get, again, swag. They do giveaways, lots of boxes. Last year, everybody that went got an exclusive Pete Alonso autographed card, numbered to 50, and they had like 4 different versions. So everybody got one of those. They give away backpacks and, tote bags and all kinds of great stuff. So hopefully that happens. But as of right now, we just don't know. One other thing with 2 nights that you can do this is we host a YouTube content creator / community. That's probably the more accurate way, because it's not just content creators, but a YouTube community get together. And it's literally that simple. I wish it was some fancy thing. It's not. It's literally just a coordinated effort to just give a place and a time for people to go and hang out with their friends. We're doing one Thursday night that myself, Eric Those Back Pages, and Dave Blue Jacket 66 are kind of putting together. We did it last year. It was great. It's going to be Thursday night after the show and potentially after the Topps Q&A. So I would guess it's going to be around 8 p.m. that'll start happening. And it's going to be at a hotel, one of the hotel lobbies that has ample space for us to spread out and sit down and hang out and grab an adult beverage or 2 or 3 and just have a great time hanging out on Thursday night. I will let you know when we get more details on where that's going to happen. Friday night, there's another one hosted by Filmington and Pepino Man, another YouTube get together, because there's people that aren't there Thursday and still want to get together with everybody. So Friday night's your deal for that. So there's just 2 opportunities to go and hang out if that's something you want to do. Another kind of extra event that's going on during the National is, oh, by the way, there's Major League Baseball happening. And so if you are interested in going to a game, let me tell you, if you haven't looked at the schedule yet, the early in the week, Wednesday, in fact, Monday. So if you get there early or whatever, Monday through Thursday, the Cubs are playing. They're at home and they're playing the Reds. So that's the 26th through the 29th. And then starting on Friday, the 30th, Saturday, the 31st, and August 1st, the White Sox are in town playing the Indians. So theoretically, if you were there all week, you could go to both a Cubs game and a White Sox game. If you've never been to the stadiums before, I highly encourage it, just for the experience, just to go. I love Wrigley Field. It's very cool atmosphere. Where the White Sox play, what is it, U.S. Cellular Field, whatever it is, not that great. Honestly, it's okay. I definitely am glad I've been, right? Kind of that deal. It's definitely a place you'd want to go. Or if you just want to go to a game and hang out on Friday, that's where you got to go, because that's where there's a game. And those are always fun if you can gather up some friends and go do that. The White Sox are playing the Indians. So there you go. That's what's going on in Major League Baseball during the National. Now to the last part, which is just some general tips, things to think about as you're either preparing, getting ready, trying to get a plan together. And the big thing is to have a plan. Again, no matter how many times you've attended before, you need to have some sort of plan of attack. There's so much to see. It is complete sensory overload. And it's at least smart to at least have some basic framework of what your days are going to look like. And so think about it. It's not that you have to plan out every second of every day. That's no fun. And especially when it comes to cards, having an agenda of what you're going to get, that there's an important distinction there. Like, you could have a list of cards that you're looking for potentially. So let's talk about that. If you're looking for certain cards, you're probably going to find it there. And if you can't, there's still always eBay, but there's you're going to be able to find cards. I would not go, if you're a player collector, and you're collecting some esoteric player, it might be difficult to find those cards that you probably don't have yet. because it's like searching a needle in a haystack. But if you're a Hall of Fame guy or autograph guy or whatever, there's lots and lots to choose from. I go to a show with no agenda of what I'm trying to pick up. I have cards I'm certainly looking for and would like to get, but I try not to set myself up for disappointment if I don't find something that just speaks to me and I really want. But the key cards that I want, or I'm kind of on the hunt for, I'm going to have a list. You should have a list of the things that you're wanting, because especially for me, there's literally hundreds of cards that I would pick up if I found them and the price was right. So I can't remember all of those as much as I would like to think I could. And so I'm going to have a list of all the stuff that I need. If you're doing set builds and stuff like that, make sure you bring your list of the cards that you need. Have it on your phone, something. And I would tell you, if they're kind of bigger cards, big boy cards, then you need to have comps in your mind written down somewhere before you go. And I wouldn't look for comps until, a week before the show or a few days before the show, because they're obviously, with the way the sports card market moves, those might change dramatically depending on what sport and what era you're buying cards in. But make sure that you're getting comps, because the worst thing you want to do is get to a table, find a card you're wanting, and not be able to pull up the internet, because internet is spotty in there. That'd be the best way to describe it. Will you have internet? Probably. Do you want to bank on that? I wouldn't. I'd make sure that you have some stuff written down, just some key numbers that really matter. Not necessarily every card. If you want to, knock yourself out, but at least some things that you're going, okay, this is about the range of price that I need to be looking at for this particular card, and have an idea of what that is, so that you're not having to rely on internet. That's the same true of your list. I have my list, at least for PSA cards, on my registry. Well, I may not be able to pull up my registry in the moment to see if I have a certain card. And so having a hard copy of that is super important. So very key, very key. When you're buying cards, negotiate everything. Everything. You shouldn't pay sticker for anything, honestly. Even if it's $5 off a $300 card, you shouldn't have to pay sticker for it. I've never met a dealer that wasn't willing to negotiate. And if I happen to come across one, I would just walk away. I'd go to the next table, because unless it's just one of those super rare, super unique items, you're going to find another one, and that person might be a little more flexible. You just don't need to stand for it. You're the buyer. They're trying to sell cards. You really have all the power, believe it or not. We feel like we don't, because they actually have the card, but they want to sell it, I promise. And if you want to buy it bad enough, I bet you can come to a compromise and figure out something, but negotiate everything, and don't be afraid to walk away. I've literally done deals where I've given a price on a card or an autograph, and the dealer didn't agree. I literally walked away, and they come chasing me down the aisle going, okay, I'll take it. So again, what is this environment and this hobby? This was in years past, obviously. You can argue that dealers don't have to negotiate because of where the sports card market is. Well, if you haven't been paying attention lately, things are getting a little soft. So I think you have some room to negotiate. One thing you'll hear a lot of dealers, especially in this market, I would imagine we're going to start hearing a lot of dealers saying things like, oh, I can't let it go for less than that because that's what I have into it. And this might sound a little rude, but the reality is that's not my problem. The fact that you overpaid for a card, and I'm just simply not unwilling. I'm just unwilling to pay, for your stupidity. No, thank you. So again, be willing to walk away. Go, nope. If they say something like that, just say, well, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm willing to pay. So move on to the next one. Okay, if you find a card that you want and you're there, oh, okay, I really want this XYZ card. It's at a pretty good price, but I'm only, a little bit through the show, or I haven't seen everything yet. That good price might be expensive compared to the bargain you can find down the road. So what you want to do is say, all right, I'm going to write down this booth, this dealer, the card I was looking at, take a picture of it, with your phone or something to document where that card is. Because in the sea of tables, display cases, chairs, people, you will not remember. We like to think we're good memory. I've had times where I knew where a card was, and sure enough, I can't find it an hour later when I'm looking for it to buy it. I'm telling you, it is very, very difficult with the chaos that is going on around you. Write down, take a picture of, document in some way where that card is and what it was, so that you can find it again if you get through and go, yep, okay, that's the one I want. I'm going to go back and get it. I promise that's very, very smart. Okay, now some practical stuff, right? I mean, we're talking about cards and the hobby and all of that. That's great, but hey, we're people. So a few things we need to keep in mind. Number one, you need to have a backpack, a fanny pack. A lot of guys were having fanny packs at the last national. It was hilarious. But some type of mechanism to carry all the cards you're going to be buying, something to carry it around in, because it can surprise you, I think, with everything. Oh, wow, I bought way more than I expected, and I didn't bring a backpack or a tote bag or something. Walk around with a backpack, even if it's empty at the beginning. So what? You can fill it up. That's why you have it. So make sure you have some type of backpack, something to carry everything around. Wear comfortable shoes. Again, a lot of these are bricks to the forehead. I get it, but those floors get really, really hard. They're concrete already, and after walking around on them for 6, 7, 8, 10 hours, your feet are going to be dead, and it's really not any fun. You get to the end of the day every day and you're just exhausted, but let me tell you, it's worth every bit of it. You get up and you get ready to do it again the next day. But wear comfortable shoes. Just try to mitigate that problem of your feet just killing every day. So do that. Bring water and snacks. I know it sounds, again, like a brick to the forehead, but it's easy to forget to eat. You're just wrapped up in the emotions and the excitement and what's going on. You're hunting for cards and whatnot. And you look up and it's been like 12 hours and you go, well, I need to probably eat something. So make sure you're bringing something to stay hydrated, to give a little energy, an energy bar, or, a Snickers or a whatever. Bring something, because you'll just forget to eat, not because you're wanting to starve yourself, but hey, cards bring out we just go nuts. I get it. The last thing, or two things left, and then I'll be done. Thank you for everybody that's sticking with me. Hopefully you learned something through all this, but this is kind of funny and it's kind of serious. Like, wear deodorant every day, please. For the love of Pete and for the benefit of everyone around you, wear deodorant to the show. That's it. Simple personal hygiene stuff. And preferably brush your teeth every day. That would also be really great. If you could do those two things, everyone at the show will be all the better for it, and we'll appreciate it, I promise. And the last thing I want to leave everybody with, this thought, and this goes true and rings true of everything I've said: have fun. This show is so much fun. It's so much to take in, such a wonderful experience. Enjoy it. It only happens once a year. And as proof of last year, we're not guaranteed that we're going to have one next year. So make sure that you're having a great time with your friends, buying sports cards that you love, enjoy the hobby, make great deals, make memories, have great stories. That's what I want to leave you with. Again, everybody, thanks for watching. Links to the different things that I showed will be down below. My link to the Topps Q&A last year will be down below. Hey, let's go to the show. Let's go to the National. Have a great one. Keep collecting.